Hello users, welcome to Apallax. This is r/twosentencerhorror. Enjoy. I watched, terrified, as my little girl leaned over the edge of the well. As she grinned down at me, I knew it hadn't been an accident. "Did you really kill yourself?" one of my friends asked. Seeing my girlfriend's hand go right through the planchette, I kept a poker face and slowly pushed it to yes. Ever since the Great War ended when I was a child, I wanted to be a sailor. This posting at Pearl Harbor is gonna be just the ticket for me. My father was the kind of man who would do anything to keep his family safe. I watched in shock as my father snapped my baby brother's neck to stop his crying, so as not to attract the attention of the undead that were outside. My daughter screamed as my son Henry erased his picture of her that she drew. As the little girl's screams faded, I wondered just who she was. My mom cried when she found out my father died in his sleep. I smiled as she didn't agree for an autopsy test. "Please babe, just a tip." "Okay," I said sweetly while positioning my knife accordingly. I always had this idea that if there was no one else but doing anything, you were always going to be the winner. I didn't feel like a winner as I watched the only other man in the world die in front of my very eyes. I've been trapped in this chamber for as long as I've been alive, kicking and doing everything I can to get out. It wasn't until a stranger with a knife broke into our home and carved me out that I was finally free from my mother's womb. "I always wanted to have your beautiful smile," I said, looking at my little sister's face. Then the warm piece of skin fell off and her cute smile turned into my bloody covered grin. "It's painful, Daddy. I don't want to do it again." It's what I want to say to my father if I can actually speak. There once was a man named Fred who had a witch put a curse on his head, but having only rhymes in his brain drove him insane, so he will fill it with lead. Facing my first grade class in perfect single file order, I felt so accomplished. The cold storage room had just enough hooks to hang them all. I carried my unconscious wife through the hospital doors and nurses started rushing over me. I simply wasn't ready to let them keep her dead body. I visited my husband in jail today. By the way he screamed, I could tell he was sorry for beating me to death last night. I thought it was just another morning at the dinner table with my parents, until the meat hooks ripped the skin and my dad's face fell into his plate. I was taking a morning walk in the forest and thought I heard someone walking behind me, but when I turned around, it was nighttime and the forest was gone. After the close call, I went to go see a support group for near-death experiences. I slowly came to realization what actually happened as I recognized the fellow that said, "Hi, I'm Kevin J. I almost died last month to a faulty light socket." Was the same Kevin Johnson that did die last month from electrocution. Being alone at home isn't scary. It's scary when you're supposed to be alone, but you're not. At first, I wasn't a big fan of dating apps like Tinder or Bumble, but I have to admit, it makes it so much easier for me to find new victims. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to watch more of this. This is Apallax. Stay tuned.